Take a good, long look, because what you are about to witness over the next month is something you will never, ever see again. Lionel Messi, the greatest footballer who has ever lived, playing in his final World Cup. And here's the part that should give every American chills. It's all happening right here, on our soil. The last dance of the greatest player in history will end somewhere in the United States. And when that final whistle blows, an era of football that defined entire generations will be over forever. Today, it began. Argentina kicked off their title defense, and the countdown to goodbye officially started. Every touch from here is one of his last. Every goal could be his final one. Every match is a chapter in the closing book of a career that will never be matched. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this is the most emotional, most important, and most unmissable World Cup story of them all. Why Messi chose to risk everything, and why the ending, win or lose, is going to be one of the most watched moments in the history of sports. So lock in. This is the last dance, and it's happening in America. The sixth and final World Cup. Let's start with the magnitude of what we're watching. Lionel Messi is on the verge of turning 39, and despite some cryptic messages along the way, has committed to playing in a record-breaking sixth World Cup. CBSSports.com. A sixth World Cup. Think about that. Most players are lucky to play in one. The truly great ones might get 3 or 4. Messi is playing in his sixth, at an age when virtually every other player who has ever lived was long retired. And this one is different from all the others, because everyone knows it's the end. Lionel Messi has said it himself, in multiple interviews stretching back to his arrival at Inter Miami. This is the farewell, the final bow. US soccer. He even said it directly after an emotional qualifier. I said it at the time. I don't think I'll play in another World Cup. FIFA. The math is simple and brutal. By the time the next qualifying cycle for the 2030 edition begins in 2027, he will be 40. There is no coming back from this one. When Argentina's tournament ends, whenever and however that happens, Messi's international career ends with it. CBSSports.com. Whether Argentina win, lose, or fall in between, the second the referee blows the final whistle on Argentina's last match of this tournament, Messi's international career ends. US soccer. That's the weight hanging over every single Argentina match, from now until they're eliminated or they win it all. This isn't just football. This is the closing of one of the greatest stories the sport has ever told. Why he didn't have to do this. Here's what makes this so remarkable and so emotional. Messi didn't have to come back. He had already written the perfect ending. In 2022, in Qatar, Messi finally won the one trophy that had eluded him his entire career. The greatest player in the history of the game won the one competition that had eluded him when Argentina defeated France in the 2022 final. CBSSports.com. It was the perfect Hollywood ending. The greatest player ever, finally completing his collection, lifting the World Cup trophy after a career of near misses and heartbreak. He could have walked away right then, on top of the world, with nothing left to prove, but he didn't. And one analysis captured exactly why that's so significant. What makes Messi's farewell different is that he has nothing left to prove and everything left to lose. In Qatar, he rewrote his own ending. 7 goals, 3 assists, the captain's armband, the trophy. Any footballer in history would have called that a finale. Messi, at 38 turning 39 during the tournament, has chosen to risk it. ESPN. Everything to lose. That's the gamble. He's risking that perfect 2022 memory by coming back for one more shot. And that takes a kind of courage that most legends never find. The fear isn't losing, not the expectation of winning, the expectation of not tarnishing. ESPN. He's putting his perfect ending on the line, in America, in front of the whole world, just for the chance at one more miracle. The American connection nobody talks about. Now here's the part that makes this so special for us, for American fans. Because Lionel Messi isn't some distant European superstar anymore. He's one of ours now. Since 2022, Messi has moved stateside to Inter Miami, stepping away from European football and taking more care of his body in the less demanding, but no less entertaining, world of MLS. CBSSports.com. Read that again. The greatest player in history plays his club football right here in the United States, in Miami, in our league. Americans get to watch him every single week. Kids across this country wear his Inter Miami jersey. He has become part of the fabric of American sports in a way no foreign athlete ever has. And now, his final World Cup is being hosted by the very country he chose to call home. The symmetry is almost poetic. The man who came to America to spend the twilight of his career will play the final games of his international life on American soil. The final is July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New York, New Jersey, the last 90 minutes of his international career. US soccer. If everything goes perfectly, Messi's career ends just outside New York City, in front of an American crowd, on an American stage. That's not just a football story, that's an American story now. Messi himself is thrilled about it. I have very high expectations that the World Cup is going to be something extraordinary. There are going to be some great matches. Teams from all over the world are coming. FIFA, the history on the line. Let's be clear about what Messi is actually chasing here, because it's not just sentiment. There's a genuine history-making achievement within reach. Argentina are the defending champions, with Messi as captain. The trophy is in his trophy room until July 19th. Win it and become the first male captain to lift back-to-back World Cups since 1938. US soccer. Back-to-back World Cups. As captain, something that hasn't been done in nearly 90 years. If Messi pulls this off, he doesn't just add another trophy. He cements an argument that's already nearly impossible to counter, that he is the single greatest footballer who has ever lived, beyond any reasonable debate. And the path is favourable. Argentina are in Group J alongside Algeria, Austria and Jordan, a winnable path to the new round of 32. US soccer. Today, it began. Argentina open against Algeria on June 16, 2026, the first step of the last dance, the opening chapter of the farewell. US soccer. The body that has to hold on. But here's the great uncertainty, the thing that makes this so tense. Can a 39-year-old body, even one as gifted as Messi's, survive a World Cup in the American summer heat? This is the real question. Questions remain over whether the Argentine magician can handle the expanded format in combination with the scorching heat expected in North America, but it would be foolish to expect Messi to bow out quietly. CBSSports.com. The expanded format means more games. The American summer means brutal heat, and Messi is no longer the player who could run for 90 minutes at full tilt. He's managed muscle issues, he's had fatigue scares. He left Inter Miami's final match before the World Cup with muscular fatigue and to avoid risks. Fan duel. Every Argentina fan, every Messi fan, every football fan around the world will be tracking his fitness with their hearts in their throats. One bad muscle pull, one tweak in the heat, and the dream could end in an instant. How he adapted his genius. And yet, here's the beautiful part. Messi has found a way to be brilliant even as his body slows down. He's reinvented himself. One of the most insightful observations about this version of Messi describes it perfectly. The sprints are shorter, the walks are longer. The passes have become absurd again, the way they were at 23, because economy of movement has forced him back into his own genius. ESPN. Think about what that means. Because he can't run as much, he has to think more. He has to be smarter. And in doing so, he's rediscovered the impossible vision and creativity that made him a phenomenon in the first place. The legs are older, but the mind is somehow even sharper. His manager has built the entire team around this idea. Scaloni has built Argentina around a Messi who touches the ball less and decides more. ESPN. This is a Messi who conserves his energy, picks his moments, and then, when the game is on the line, produces the kind of magic that no other player on earth can replicate. He doesn't need 90 minutes of running, he needs one moment, and he's still the best in the world at producing it. The emotional weight is unbearable. I want to talk about the emotion of this, because it's impossible to ignore. We have already seen glimpses of how heavy this farewell is going to be. In his final home qualifiers, the scenes were overwhelming. The spotlight was firmly on Messi, who appeared to be in tears during pre-match preparations, as sentiments ran high throughout the night. Al Jazeera, Messi, in tears, before a game. This is a man who has played in front of billions, who has lifted every trophy, who has been under the most intense pressure imaginable for 20 years. And the weight of these final moments brought him to tears. That's what this tournament is. It's not just sport, it's a goodbye to a generation. That moment, when his international career finally ends, will be one of the most watched in sports broadcasting history. US soccer. Whether it ends with him lifting the trophy at MetLife in a shower of confetti, or whether it ends in a heartbreaking defeat in some earlier round, the world will be watching. Hundreds of millions of people, all witnessing the same thing at the same time. The final goodbye to the greatest of all time. What this means for the tournament. So how does this shape the World Cup as a whole? In a massive way. Argentina are not just defending champions, they are the team carrying the most emotional storyline in the entire tournament. And teams playing for something beyond themselves, for a legend's farewell, for a piece of history, often find an extra gear that pure talent alone can't explain. We saw it in 2022. The whole Argentina team rallied around the idea of winning it for Messi. That same energy is back, amplified now by the knowledge that this is absolutely, definitively, the end. For neutral fans, for American fans who have adopted Messi as one of our own, the choice is simple. You watch every Argentina game, because you don't know which one will be his last. You don't want to miss the moment, whatever it turns out to be. The verdict. Witness history while you can. So let me bring this all together. We are living through the final chapter of the greatest career in football history, and we get to watch it unfold in our own country. Lionel Messi, 39 years old, defending champion, playing his sixth and final World Cup, chasing a piece of history no captain has touched since 1938, with his body fighting against time and heat, his genius adapted and refined, his heart full of emotion, on the very American soil he now calls home. Will he win it? I genuinely don't know. The heat is a real threat. The expanded format is demanding. Argentina will face hungry opponents who would love nothing more than to be the team that ended Messi's career. France will be lurking. Spain, Brazil, England, all of them stand in the way. But here's what I do know. Whether this ends in glory at MetLife Stadium or in heartbreak in an earlier round, you are watching the final act of a once-in-a-century talent. There will never be another Messi. There will never be another farewell quite like this, and it will never happen again. So watch every game, cherish every touch, because when that final whistle blows on Argentina's last match of this tournament, a door closes on football history that will never reopen. This is the last dance. It just began today, and it ends in America forever. If you want to follow every single moment of Messi's farewell, every Argentina game, every twist in the greatest goodbye in sports history, hit subscribe right now. We're covering all of it, every emotion, every storyline, deeper than anywhere else. Drop a comment below. Does Messi go out with the trophy at MetLife, or does the fairy tale end early? And be honest, are you rooting for him even if you're not an Argentina fan? I read every single comment. This is the World Cup breakdown. Witness history while you still can. I'll see you in the next one.